everybody. Thanks for tuning in to the Clan Hatton Association YouTube channel. I have to introduce to you, if you don't already know, David Mackintosh, who is the chairman of the Clan Hatton Association Council. David, welcome, and thank you for making the time to be with us here today on the channel.
Thank you for this opportunity. It's great to be talking to you again.
I want everyone in the world to know who you are and what you do and your role in the association. People have many questions all the time, no matter if they're making comments on our social media or here on the channel. And by the way, everyone, don't forget to like and subscribe, and please do comment down below. Keep the comments coming in. We absolutely love that. But there's a lot of people that have questions about the association. People hear about the Confederacy, what was, using the history of the Clan Hatton over the centuries, because as far back as we can tell, it's fairly nearly closer to 1,000 years old than not. So, and people are intrigued with that. It's a lot of histories to put together. People just want to know the basics about the Clan Hatton, and so I wanted to have you on to talk to everyone about that and about your role with the association.
Quite right. I mean, the Clan Hatton as a confederation, is closer to 1,000 years older than 500. It certainly goes back to the 13th century. It'd be fair to say that the association, of which I have the honour to currently be the chairman, is a little less venerable. We've just celebrated our 90th birthday. It was established in its current form back in 1933. And I guess, the main role is to provide a focus for all those who've got an interest from all the clans, all the constituent parts of the Clan Hatton, to come together to help preserve the history and culture of the Clan Hatton, and to celebrate, and to share our interest in our common roots and the history and places that were important to Clan Hatton.
I'm glad that this is part of our mission, and also very happy that we can perhaps film some of these areas in Scotland, which I plan to do more of this year, and maybe some others as well, and be able to show people here and around the world who maybe can't travel over exactly what these significant places look like, and maybe help take part in preservation and all of the different types of work that the association will be doing, including having and hosting our AGM in August.
Yes, yeah, and I mean, just to sort of a plug, I mean, while we have only just celebrated our 90th anniversary, I think our minds are increasingly focused on the big centenary that it is 9 years off as we speak, but that's a big landmark in any organisation's history, I think. And we're doing a lot of work now to try to improve our offering to members of the association. So there's some very exciting work going on at the moment to look at historic maps of the areas that have an association with all the constituent clans and families. I'm hoping that we will be able to advance that and start sharing that with the members in the next few months. I think there is a lot of scope, as you said, to provide video and pictures on the website. We've already got quite a lot on there, but it certainly could be improved so that people who aren't able to perhaps join us this year or next year, hopefully everyone or many people can join us for the 100th anniversary, but so people get a better idea about the land and the territories that are associated with the Clan Hatton.
Absolutely. And David, if you don't mind, just to get a little bit of background of yourself, because I know that it's enjoyable for people to know a little bit about your personal information if we don't overstep here. When did you start becoming involved with the association? How did that happen? How did that come about? Tell us your story.
Um, well, I guess, it's interesting, and if I start off, my father was born in Inverness, and for those of whoever attended the event when it was at the Lockardle Hotel, my dad actually went to school just round the corner from there. But as my accent will tell many people, I was actually born and brought up uh, down in London, in England, but had family in Scotland, um, in the Glasgow area mainly, but knew where my dad's family had come from, was always interested in history. And as I got a bit older and was able to start driving around myself a bit, took myself up to Inverness and managed to find roughly where Moy was, and had found the lock okay. Um, and I was, reading up where I could and found information. And I did study history, and at the time I'm talking about, I would have been doing a master's degree at the University of London, and I did quite a lot of that on emigration from the Highlands to mainly to North America. Um, and I came across around that time a reference to the association, and it took me a few years and two children to get around to actually joining the association. But we turned up one year at the AGM and went along to Moy. Uh, I loved looking around the museum. That was, and I took advantage of the opportunity to get hold of some of the association journals, and that was kind of me hooked, I guess. And then I got to know Donald and Denise Mackintosh quite well, and I suppose I did that classic thing. "Well, why don't we do this, and what about that?" And Donald said, "Why don't you join the council? You've got let's get you involved a little bit more." So that's how I came to join council, and then after being on council for a few years, well, good few years, the opportunity came up to stand as chairman, and I'm kind of in the second term, but that normally, that wouldn't necessarily be the case, but because of COVID, it was extended. So yeah, uh, I have the opportunity to, well, the chairman's role, I think, is mainly to keep the show on the road, to help organise the meetings. We are quite an active association. We've got some ambitions to improve what we do, and I like to think that I play a small part in helping other people make that happen.
You play a huge part in that, David. Don't sell yourself short at all. You're very inspiring, and you inspire me to want to do more just watching you. And so we're greatly appreciative. And the festivities of the 90th of last year was fantastic at the King's Mills House Hotel. And again, everyone, we hope that you will join us on August the 1st. It's a Thursday at the King's Mills Hotel in Inverness for our annual general meeting. And then, of course, the following day, we have what used to be the Highland Field Sports, now the Country Fair at Moy. And the Clan Hatton and Mackintosh tent will be present on the field, and then also the Saturday as well. So we're hoping you'll be able to join us. And then some of the other clans of the Clan Hatton Association have events surrounding that weekend as well. I'll post some links below. So if anyone's interested, let us know, and hopefully you'll make plans to join us. David, you have accomplished whilst being chairman, and the council has accomplished a few very significant things already, including the coat of arms, working on this project, the mapping project with Rex, who we will have on um, hopefully in the not so distant future. I've been in touch with Rex, and if you all have been able to check out your new Touch Not magazine, you will get a glimpse into that mapping project David was talking about. That is going to be part of our new Clan Hatton Association website. What else is kind of on your radar? What is it that you would like to see happen with the association?
I guess that there's a few things that you know I think the council are interested in doing, and I've mentioned already about if you like improving the offer, so giving people more information, better quality pictures and videos, etc., of um, the areas that are important to those who have an interest in Clan Hatton. Um, I mean, I'm very conscious. Everyone who comes up takes loads of photos, lots of videos. I'd encourage people to share them so that we can get them on the website, share them with other people. Um, I think I'm really pleased that you're going to be interviewing Rex soon because Rex is a great example of what a tremendous resource we have in people around the council table. Um, I know there was a piece in the recent Touch Not about the mapping project, but there's also Rex has started to do book reviews, which and that they're great. They're scholarly, but also very accessible. And I think people will find them very useful if they want to develop, their own knowledge and understanding. Um, I guess the thing I would most like to see really is to broaden the number of people who are involved with the association in taking things forward. We are very lucky. We have a good membership. You know, we are very much a going concern, but out of the hundreds of members we have, we're lucky if we have more than a few dozen people a year actually really engage in the projects or taking things forward. And I think anyone watching this who would like to get involved, has got ideas, get in touch. We'd love to hear from you. Not everything's possible, but anyone who brings an interest and some energy is more than welcome at the Clan Hatton Association party. I think job one really is to make sure that the association is in good shape going forwards, but we are in good shape now. Um, there's a lot we can do, and I know that you've got lots of ideas about this, about developing our sort of digital presence. Um, Personally, I think it would be good to think of ways that we could maybe connect more with the local area, or the areas where Clan Hatton has its roots, the heartlands of Clan Hatton, and I think that's possibly something we could look at going ahead. But the mapping project is a big one. Getting the website up and running takes quite a lot of energy, and that's got to be the focus for the time being. But we are always interested in people who would like to join us.
You become a member. And so all you need to do is go to the website. And whilst the new website is under construction, we thank you very much for your patience. And if you have any sort of an issue when you try to go to the website and join or do anything else or sign up for the AGM, do let us know and we will make sure that we can accommodate you. And there is the association email address. And then also I've set up another email address if you need an additional contact. And this is the Clan Hatton Association at Yahoo email address. And this one, I primarily set this one up for the purpose of the Clan Hatton Connection Project. So we're hoping everyone will send in a video, who you are, where you are, a little bit about yourselves, your family, If you're not comfortable recording yourself and sending that over to us in a Google Drive or a WhatsApp, you want to send us your story and some still photographs, we'd be happy to include that in what we hope to be quite a collage of people from around the world. So we do have that email address uh, as well. If you have need anything or have any issues with the website, it's a work in progress, and it's going to be fantastic, the new site, when it is up and running. And I know there's a few of you working diligently on this with Richard McBain of McBain. He was speaking about this during his interview as well. So we're very grateful, David.
I can genuinely say, no false modesty, it's others that have done most of the work on this. Rex and Richard have really been those who've put the effort in on this. But I think it's very exciting. And you mentioned the coat of arms. Incredibly grateful to the people who put the work in on that, and that was that was something that was in train before I became chair. But I think it is very useful in sort of giving us the association, a stronger reinforced identity, and something that you know the membership hopefully will enjoy when we share it with them. And people can already see it, but it's an important thing in terms of the association having a clear identity of its own.
It's been wonderful addition to the association, and we're very grateful and thank you. And thank you for your years of service to the association and your dedication and your enthusiasm. It's very much appreciated. Is there anything else you'd like to add or leave with people? And again, everyone, I always say this, but I do hope, David, you will come back regularly just to check in with everyone. I don't know that everybody just wants to see my face on here, but I'm just the one providing the microphone, basically, everyone. So hopefully you'll be able to see more of David and the other council members moving forward as time permits.
I think this is a really good platform for people to meet council. So, and I would be delighted, honoured to come back as and when you think it's appropriate. Um, on that, I think it can seem a little bit strange. I think to people, why should I join council? Are they all rather slightly strange folk or whatever? Um, we probably are quite strange folk in many ways, but we are all quite friendly folk. Um, the council is a tremendous resource of information around the council table. We have got a great deal of genuine expertise in Highland history, in culture, in genealogy, um, which I think many people would find fascinating. But everyone who comes to council brings something of value. We need help, good administrators, if skills with people who can do online interviews, etc. We everyone brings something to the party. And we are very, very lucky. We do have some younger members of council. You do not need to be middle-aged to join council at all.
Yeah.
And if people are interested, get in touch. We can discuss it, and let's see. And as to build on the point you've made, it's great to see people if they can make the AGM in Inverness. But if you can't make that, obviously not everyone's going to be able to travel, particularly those who live outside the British Isles. Get in touch, you know, email. We'd love to hear from you, and I'm sure there's things you could do, and you can help us achieve some of the great potential that the Clan Hatton Association clearly has. And you know, it can be quite a lot of fun. I think most people who go to Moy quite enjoy it, particularly if it doesn't rain, and and some years the midges are quite subdued. So, but it is great fun. It's a great opportunity to see some lovely parts of Scotland, and maybe find out a little bit more about your past, or just find out a little bit more about the history of the Highlands.
And the future as well. You know, maybe I'm kind of crazy. You say maybe some of us are strange folk. I'm probably the strangest of all, and I'm American, so go figure. But the way I look at it, and not to oversimplify it, but I find that the history of the Clan Hatton, what was a confederation, now the association, and these Highland clans is so important and such a rich one. And I feel like we are all stewards of that history, and not just of that history, but making um, history now and moving forward for the next generations and keeping it in our care, and not just the history, but the locations and maybe some of the artifacts and everything having to do with the Confederation and the association. And so we've got it just for our small, period of lifetime, what has been hundreds and hundreds of years old. And so it's very exciting to be part of that and to think about that and to be able to make some sort of even small contribution. And so absolutely, if you're interested, and we do have great fun when we get together, and the north of Scotland and the west coast is so stunningly beautiful.
I like your analogy. I certainly do think that one of the roles of the association is kind of as a custodian, um, to preserve, look after, and develop. I mean, history isn't a static thing, and nor is it just about history, because a lot of the places which are important to the Clan Hatton, or the constituents, the people there, they're developing now. I mean, if you look, I mean, long overdue, but there's a major redevelopment of Inverness Castle. Well, there's a location that's played quite an important role in the history of many of our clans, and an incredibly important central role in the history of the Highlands. Um, and one of the things that I think the map project will show people, and remind people, is that at different times, or the spread of Clan Hatton was enormous. It does go from the Atlantic coast across to Braemar. You've got a vast swathe of the Highlands where, the constituent parts, or the Clan Hatton Confederacy together, was incredibly important. And it does give you an interesting lens into the history and development of the region. But also it tells you something, and it can help inform, understanding of what's developing now. And, with the culture, I have to say this in case my dad ever watches this, but, my dad does play the bagpipes. There's still a very vibrant piping scene. There are some tunes closely associated with Clan Hatton. Um, I think most people who think they have any connection with Scotland, um, feel something special when they hear the pipes being played. That's something, vibrant and ongoing. It's not all dusty documents or ruined castles. There is an extant, vibrant culture. Much of it, obviously, now outside of Scotland, but the Clan Hatton Association is based in Scotland. Our focus is on Scotland, but we're interested and want to engage with anyone and everyone who is either from or has an interest in the Clan Hatton.
I just want to thank you, David, for taking the time out of your busy schedule to be here with us. I do hope you'll come back as frequently as time allows on your end, and check back in, especially when we're rolling out new projects and we're trying to, present things to people. Please feel free to come back. This is your YouTube channel, David. So
Well, I'm more than happy to come back whenever you think's appropriate, or you invite me. And I just finished, and I mean, I could elaborate on this more in future, but so was born, brought up, and still live in a borough in the east of London. And where I went to school is about 6 miles north of here. And there's a big open park, what we call Greenbelt there, which has a strong Mackintosh connection. You
Oh,
know, it was preserved, developed, and basically came into public ownership via a guy who came down from Nairn in the late 18th century and made money in construction in London. But you know, he was his son, who was also David Mackintosh, was the last Lord of the Manor of Romford, which is. But if I'm facing approximately due east here, and about a mile away is a house that belonged to General James Oglethorpe, who was governor of Georgia in the 1730s into the 1740s, who was a close friend of one Lachlan McIntosh, who was of the Boreham Mackintoshes, who had was one of those who tried to get back from the colonies to Scotland in 1745 to fight for the Jacobites. And General James Oglethorpe was a friend of the family and persuaded him it was not a good idea. And as events transpired, probably did save him from a lot of grief. He, of course, Lachlan McIntosh is also famous or infamous for having shot one of the people who signed the Declaration of Independence in a duel. But that's maybe a
oh my
story for
goodness.
another time.
I did not know this. Are you
Yeah,
serious?
yeah. He shot. It was another politician from Georgia who he had a falling out with. Both were staunchly in favour of an independent US, but they had a big falling out, had a duel, and as he was the representative from Georgia at the time, I think the guy was, oh, I can't remember his name, Butter Gwinnett or something, but he signed the Declaration of Independence, and a few years later, during the duel, well, they shot each other, but Lachlan survived.
Oh my,
The other guy died of his wounds.
oh my goodness.
There you go.
Incredible. This is incredible. Okay, so
And
David,
I, it, it's in some of it's in that book,
a dance called
but
America. We almost
yeah,
get it. Dance called America. Wow. I have never heard of this book before by James Hunter. We'll post a link above and I'll try to find
well,
some.
yeah, it's quite interesting because that branch of the Mackintoshes were related by cousinship to the guy who became chief of the Creek Indians. And if you go forward just shy of 100 years, he had great grandchildren on opposing sides as senior officers in the U.S. Civil War. So there was a long tradition of military service.
There is. Well, and I can tell you, going to the Stone Mountain Highland Games, which Clan Hatton will have a big presence at this coming year. Actually, our constituents who convene over at Grandfather Mountain will be with me at Stone Mountain this year in numbers. And Stone Mountain is quite an amazing Highland Games in and of itself, in that it is Mackintosh country through and through.
Mm,
There are a lot of Mackintoshes there, and Georgia, of course, has a Mackintosh County, but
yep.
there's a whole Mackintosh pipe band. Last year, they brought a set of pipes. I didn't bring my own with me, so I could play with them, and I did. But there are a lot of Mackintoshes in Georgia. So it's quite a thing to behold. And I can't wait to get my hands on this book and read more about this. And maybe, David, we can talk about this more next month. Hopefully you'll come
Well,
monthly and we can
I think that the point I would make is that people from the Manhattan Federation and were scattered so far, but there's not many places where you can't find some connection. And as I say, with from where I sit now, there's two sort of locations within 6 miles and a mile that way.
I did not know any of this, and I am intrigued to find out more about this history. We must talk about this further. I had no idea that a Mackintosh was in a duel with a signer of the Declaration of Independence and won the duel and shot him dead. That's incredible.
I can speak. They both survived the duel, but Lachlan McIntosh survived his injuries. The other guy died 3 or 4 days later.
David, thank you so much. I greatly appreciate you being on with us today. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks,
See
Cindy.
you next
Take
month.
care.
I hope we'll see you next month. Bye for now.
Okay.